If you only had 2 days in Blue Ridge, these are the must-see places that you don't want to miss. From beautiful natural attractions to fresh apple pastries right inside the orchard, and charming old towns in between. These are some of my favorite spots in North Georgia around the town of Blue Ridge that you don't want to miss out on. Eager to head back to the mountains as fall was approaching and for one last adventure before expecting the arrival of our son in a few months, we loaded up the vehicle, gave the dogs one last booty rub before heading up to North Georgia for a quick getaway. Well, we are finally on the road, left a little bit later than planned, but that's okay. But on to North Georgia. We picked up the Lord's chicken before they stopped serving breakfast.
Welcome to Georgia.
Had to get some chicken minis on the way. It is a mini chicken sandwich. It's pretty neat. Also got a fruit cup. Some healthy fruit. What's your dipping sauce of choice? Leave a comment below. Our destination is about 8 hours away, so we stopped for more snacks before we begin entering Atlanta. The Atlanta Tunnel. Driving through Atlanta traffic. My wife's driving. Still driving through Atlanta. One day we'll stop in Atlanta and maybe find a good cafe or restaurant or something. From the highway, you can see a bunch of mountains. It's always exciting to see the first mountains on the horizon as we make our way north of Atlanta. Of course, we had to make a slight detour and stop at one of our favorite cafes along the way in a town named Canton. So of course, life isn't always about the destination, but about enjoying the journey along the way. And this is one of the gems along the way. Alma Coffee is a true farm-to-cup cafe experience. Coffee is shipped from one of their family farms in Honduras, then roasted right there in the cafe. Fresh, high-quality beans makes a huge difference in the cup, and the coffee is exceptional. The cafe itself has a nice vibe to it as well. Tell them I sent you if you ever get a chance to try them and let me know how it was. So we're traveling up here in the end of September, and you can kind of see some of the leaves are wanting or just barely starting to change. Right now we're heading into the old town of Blue Ridge, about to pick up something to eat for dinner. Sue's Famous Burgers, here we go. Now we're headed to the cabin. Carving up and down twisty mountain roads through the forest is always a fun experience. We arrived at our enchanting Tranquil Creek View A-frame Airbnb and eagerly settled in after the long drive. So after we ate yesterday in the old town of Blue Ridge, we drove just a few minutes away and made it to our cabin. I ran around like a madman right before sunset to get a bunch of shots for the tour video. So be sure and check out the tour video where I do a full tour of this cabin and you can see the full layout and all the features of it. But this morning we're getting a slow start. Filmed a little bit around the cabin this morning also, and then ate a small breakfast. Plant-based breakfast, basically peanut butter, banana, and bread, just to get a little bit of protein because our first stop is Mercier Orchards, where we'll be getting the good stuff for breakfast. But I don't think they have anything savory, salty, savory, protein-based. So if you're the type of person that likes eggs first thing in the morning, which I do, you'll want to eat something if you plan on stopping at Mercier for breakfast, because all they have is sweet stuff. We're headed to Mercier to get the good stuff that I'll show you right now. Mercier has the best fresh apple fritters and other pastries around. It is a beautiful family-owned orchard with a cafe, bakery, and store where you can sample apples and pick up gifts or other Apple products. So we made it to Mercier. We got the good stuff. Apple fritter, a fresh cinnamon roll, and a apple cider donut also. But we walked down to this pond right by the orchard. You can see the orchard behind me. It's pretty cool. We're gonna sample and enjoy our sweet treats. I'll let you know how they are.
It smells so good.
Look at this fresh, delicious cinnamon roll. I'm gonna sample it. Here we go. Now for this gigantic apple fritter. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the cider donut. Perfection. What do you think about them? About 30 minutes from Mercier is a nice waterfall to visit. The fall is at the end of a pretty easy short hike, so it's family friendly. We left Mercier Orchards after snacking on some delicious apple fritters, donuts, and cinnamon rolls. Now we are at Fall Branch Falls, about to do a short hike over to a waterfall. We highly recommend stopping at Fall Branch Falls because it's an easy drive, it doesn't take too long to get to, and it's a pretty short hike that's not too bad, and you can see a waterfall. In the recent past, we visited Fall Branch Falls when it was unaltered wilderness. It was just a waterfall surrounded by woods. These Airbnb domes are a new addition. They look really neat, but it is kind of sad to see them in this area and on the side of this waterfall and stream. I guess it depends which side of the stream you're on. On the way back from the waterfall, there are even plenty of roadside treasures. So we left Fall Branch Falls and we need to head into Blue Ridge to get something to eat, but we made a stop alongside the Toccoa River to check out this cool rapid. At this section of the road, the Toccoa River runs right alongside of the road. After working up an appetite on the trails, our first stop was to grab lunch at a really delicious farm-to-table Italian restaurant named Mazzeria. This is probably our favorite Italian restaurant we've been to, not just in Blue Ridge. Everything is good there and it contains fresh ingredients. It's a farm-to-table restaurant. We took the opportunity to further enjoy the weather and we sat outside. The outdoor seating area has a great view of the train and center of Blue Ridge. After lunch, we slowly strolled up and down the streets of the old town before retiring to our cabin for the night. Well, it's our last morning in the cabin. We are saying goodbye. We're all packed up, about to hit the road. Just soaking in the last couple of minutes in the treetops here, and we are going to hit Mercier Orchards again on the way out, pick up some more of that good stuff, those baked goodies and deep fried, the sweet donuts and all that stuff. We're going to get some more of that. Definitely some apples, so some healthy stuff as well. They've got really good apples and they're super fresh tasting. We'll probably grab a couple of gifts for our family and the in-laws. They've been keeping an eye on our house and taking care of our dogs while we are away. Fritter number 2 on day 2. Make sure you get there early because that place gets crazy. Of course, we had to stop by Alma and pick up coffee for the road, plus beans to take with us before continuing our journey back home. Well, on our last stop, after leaving Blue Ridge, of course, we had to stop at Alma again. Really like the Alma Roastery and Cafe. The people are always really nice, and of course the coffee is great. This was my first official travel vlog, and I hope to do a lot more. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing, and let me know if you decide to go and visit Blue Ridge yourself.